Okay, so the first little section we'll go through is basically what we're going to cover in the next 10 weeks. So very briefly, session 1 to 10, what we're going to be covering. So session 1 will be what we're doing now, and we'll just go through general nautical terminology. It's basic names of things on the boats. Most of the stuff you should know. There might be one or two things you don't, but it can act as a very good reminder. Session 2, we will go through collision regulations. So some of this might be new to you, might know some of them. What I'm not going to be doing in this is going through it saying a fishing boat has these lights, a vessel not under command has these lights. It's more the rules and general knowledge of it, the lights and things you can learn for yourselves. Then we'll go through definition of position, course, and speed, which then gets us to what latitude and longitude is and where it's derived from, and knowledge of standard nautical terms, navigational terms, true bearings and courses, so specifically true and what happens on a chart, and then we'll go through what the knot is itself, as in the speed, not tying them. Session 4, we'll start going into charts and publications, because there are obviously hundreds of publications that are based around maritime. What are the information, chart symbols, and the representation of direction and distance on charts. Navigational publications in common use, so the books you see on board the boats we sail. And then how do we do a little bit of chart correction? Okay, and then we'll also go into the basics of the drawing instruments that we use on board. Session 5, we'll go into the compass, applications of variation, an awareness of deviation and its causes, and the use of a hand-bearing compass. So obviously things that we can then look at and things we've done on board or do on board when we get back to sea. Session 6, chart work. We'll look at doing a dead reckoning and estimated positions, and we'll include a little bit of awareness for leeway. We'll do techniques of visual fixing, satellite-derived positions, use of waypoints to fix a position, and courses to steer. Okay. Session 7, we'll talk about tides and tidal streams. Okay. However, we will not be doing secondary tidal port calculations, things like that. We'll keep it top level. So it's tidal definitions, levels and datum, tide tables, the use of the Admiralty method for determining tidal height in a standard port only, and the awareness of corrections for secondary port, but we won't go into how they work. And then the use of tidal diamonds and tidal streams, tidal atlases. Lastly, session 8, visual aids to navigation. So the things that we use to navigate by. So lighthouses, beacons, the light characteristics, and then we'll do a section on meteorology. So sources of meteorological information, the knowledge of terms that we use in shipping forecasts, including the Beaufort scale, and obviously they're significant to us on small craft, and then just a basic knowledge of highs, lows, and fronts. Second last session, we'll talk a little bit about passage planning. So when we're thinking about, okay, we're finally going to get back on the water, what do we need to think about? So preparation of navigational plans for short coastal passages, meteorology, considerations for planning short coastal passages, use of waypoints on a passage, and the importance of keeping a log. And then lastly, we'll talk about restricted visibility, because obviously that covers everything imposed by fog or heavy rain, things like that. And then we'll talk about the marine environment as a whole. Okay, so that's basically the layout for the next 10 weeks.